Hey guys, for those who don't know me, my name's Juliet Hazard, also known as Lady Juliana Vertal within the Society for Creative Anachronism. What I'm doing today is I am shooting a video at the behest of several individuals on how I do cleaning wool using ammonia. I don't scour or clean my wool using soap. I use good old-fashioned ammonia. Cheap, $1.20 at your local Walmart. That's where I got it today. I had actually watched a video by a gentleman, a Scotsman, who is a master bard storyteller along with a master weaver. And he told a story of how his ancestors, they would literally take the kettle down to the stream, fill it full of urine and water, and then scour the fleeces there and then throw it in the river to rinse it out. Well, as we know, or most those who do this type of work know that ammonia is a byproduct of urine. I'm like, yeah, I'm not collecting the urine. Yeah. But I was like, well, wait a minute. It's ammonia. So, I use ammonia. It's easy, it's quick, and it actually takes less time than scouring it with soap and water. And I've had people that have watched me do it, that I have taught this method to, that at first they were like, no, can't do it. You're gonna felt the wool, you're gonna ruin it. I've done it. And one of those people was my Laurel in the SCA, Dame Ann of Greenwood, who's now in Atlantia. First time I did it for her, she swore up and down I was going to ruin the fleece. Afterwards, this is about, I think, the only method she uses. So, welcome aboard. Watch and learn on how I do it. Please be patient with me. I've got my camera set up. I've not done it this way before, so bear with me. Don't use purified water. This comes out of a well. So, disclaimer, safety first. Do not, I recommend you do not do this in your house. If you've ever cleaned with ammonia, you know how pungent it can get. You are heating this up to do this method. Don't do it in the house. You're going to end up with a major migraine. It's not fun. You can get sick from it. Okay? Now, just so you don't think that I'm using good wool, the wool that I've got behind me on my bench here is nasty. It's dirty. It's been sitting outside for quite some time. Yeah, this gives you an idea. This is nasty. It's dirty. It's got debris in it. So, you're going to get to see what it can do to some dirty, yucky wool. It's been outside in a bag, just sitting. This is not wool that came from a farmer that the fleece had been skirted. This wool has not been skirted. It was not covered. So it's got everything in it. Fecal matter, all of it. If you're squeamish, wear latex gloves or gloves of some type if you're squeamish about touching it in this condition. For me, I have animals. It doesn't bother me that much. Now, one thing I recommend, go to the dollar store. Get you some cheap laundry bags. Your mesh laundry bags. They don't have to be the good ones. You don't want the good ones because they're going to get screwed up. Oh goody, water's ready. You're going to be using the water that you're going to use. As I said, this is filled up to about here. Okay? take your ammonia. This is what, a half gallon, I think? 2 quarts, yeah, half gallon. Let me get this off. Come on. Hold on. Okay, got it. 2 quarts. That's about there. That's what I've down to. You're not going to use a whole lot to start with. Because what happens as you clean this, it's going to get more concentrated. It's going to get the bath that's in here, you're just going to keep adding water to it because all the ammonia and everything that's in this is going to transfer to this, making it a more concentrated bath. And it will not take as long to clean as you do this. When you put the fleece in the back in here, you don't need a whole lot in the back. I'd say probably that much, because this is going to go quickly. This is probably more than what you're going to put if you were doing this by hand, if you were doing it with soap and water. So don't overload the back, because you want the water, you want the fleece to swoosh around in the bucket to get thoroughly saturated the whole 9 yards. Now, for those that you're asking, well, how do you know when the fleece is, the water's ready? How do you know when the water's ready to do this? Well, hold on. I'm gonna have to record this. I've got my camera over there that you're seeing me from, and video. Okay, I'm gonna record this with my phone, so that you can. I'm gonna splice this in, and you're gonna see what happens to this piece of wool. Now, normally in cold water, when you set wool on top of water, it just sits there and floats. That's not what you want. You'll know the water's ready when you do this. Watch. Watch. See here. There. You see how that's just sinking? That is completely there. In the water. Down. Done. At the bottom. And to fish that out, I'm just going to use a stick. So hold on. As you can see, I got a fairly large yard. Me and the husband were out here earlier today cleaning, well, running a brush hog. The old-fashioned way, you do this over an open fire. Well, I'm not doing it over an open fire. Yes, I can. No, I'm not going to. Okay. Here's my experiment. Ooh! Yeah, that's pungent already. You can probably see how much cleaner that is. And that has not been in there 2 minutes. Now, like I said, not even 2 minutes in, to give you an idea. Here's what it came off of. You can start to see the difference already. So, just as I'm going to drop that back in there. You can already see, if you don't think you've got enough ammonia in there, you could always add more. In fact, okay, there's about a quart. That's really gonna, and you want it at a simmer. You want this water at a simmer. You do not want to boil it. So you can probably see the steam coming off of that from here. That's what you want. Okay. So, this bag. See? One bag. You can see the sides of that. That is just sinking down in there. That's how you know that water is hot enough. You don't want it, because if it doesn't sink, it ain't hot enough. If you'll notice, you can already see the discoloration of the water in that short time frame since I put this bag in. Knock that off. Okay, sounds a little bit better. So as you can see, you don't need anything. You do not need sophisticated items to do this. There we go. Got it. This is why you have the stick. This is why you have the stick. Haha. And there. If not the stick, spoon, something to grab this bag. To lift it up. Because, okay, going to, back to the main camera. As you can see, and if you can avoid standing over the top of the pot, I highly recommend it. Because, well, it's, whew. And you can just let it simmer. I'm probably out of frame at the moment, or I might be. Over here on this side, I've got a bucket that I'm going to fill with cold water for the rest. Okay. This is simmering pretty good over here. So, Honestly, I probably should have cut this in half as a start, but that's okay. If you can't stand the smell of it after one bath, you're gonna be in trouble trying to do this. Because, like I said, it just gets more potent as you do this. If you don't have a tub like I've got over here, you can use a plastic bucket. You can use a kiddie pool. Another tub like this if you want. Choice is yours. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about how you do it. So I don't use it for anything but like this. So, as I said, this is cold water out of the well, right out of the hose. And all I am doing at this point is just rinsing it, which is yeah. Okay, I'm back. Battery died on the camera. You know, it happens. I'm not quite sure where I was at when it died. I am currently rinsing this using cold water. And that's the one thing you want to do is rinse your cold water frequently. You don't have to, you don't do it with the ammonia bath, you just do it with the cold water. This is not going to hurt anything. If you think it is, dump it down the toilet. It's just ammonia water. Or, like I said, I live in 10 acres, so this is not going to hurt what I've got out here. As you do this, you want to rinse it until the water runs clear. If you do not think it is clean enough, you can always get back in the ammonia bath. Give you an idea. Remember that piece that I dropped in here? Okay, this is the piece that I originally dropped. And remember, it's been in there the entire time. It's yellow, got some yellow tint to it, and this is wet. But compared to what it was, this is what you have. Okay? And that's going to dry almost completely white once it dries and gets the water out. 2 baths. 2 rinses in cold water. No. The first one and now this one. if you can see me in the camera, but I'm just, oh, sorry, pull that off. I am just, this is just sliding apart. And you can feel the friction in the wool as you're pulling it apart. Now, the sections like this that I just pulled off, that's probably matted because that's probably had, fecal matter in it. Where it, at the back of in the hind legs where it was accumulated. And that's felted from that. But the rest of this is just pulling apart. And you can see where I'm pulling out sticks. And leaves and everything else. And there's some dark. The morit, the chocolate. It was mixed in. Because the fleeces that the sheep that these came from were two-toned. So you had the dark, you had the chocolate, and then you had the whites. And you can, like I said, this is the second batch on that. And this stuff is just gorgeous in the reds and the chocolate. They call it morit, but it's like a red. And if you if you compare it to my hair, you can see that it darn near blends together. That beautiful color. So it doesn't take a lot to do this. It's a little time labor intensive, but cleaning wool of any caliber is time labor intensive. So I'm just going to finish up this bag here. See, this is the underside of the fleece where they cut it. So it's right underneath where this was the outside, what you saw on the sheet. This was next to the scalp where they cut it. Oh, afternoon rain showers. Lovely. Yeah, just sprinkling. Not too bad. So I'm just going to take a piece off here. Drop it in. Let it sink. Let it swish around. And in the meantime, I'm going to gather up my camera gear. Sorry. Belly, white, yes. I'm a redhead. I'm white. There's nothing that's... afternoon showers. What can I say? Florida, it is June. It's not July yet. I don't work a daytime job, so I work middle of the nights. So my phone keeps me sane. If you're gonna do a lot of this, go buy a lot of the cheap bags. Also, buy the smaller ones you use for like lingerie, your bras and your panties. Don't use the big laundry bags if you can, because you can put smaller batches together. And don't worry about the weight. People say, when they send fleeces off to be done for them, those that don't want to do this, and they send it off to somebody to clean this for them. Well, you lose so much weight in cleaning it. No, you're not losing. What you're losing is the lanolin. You're losing the urine, the fecal matter. You're losing that. You still have the same amount of fiber. You're just losing all that other gunk.